Hey Ryan, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
I'm going very well, thank you. Since we last spoke, did you launch a new company or you're still focusing on whatever you're doing right now? Because it's
Yeah,
your
well, it seems like
it's
there's
your
always a
fifth,
new
sixth.
company.
What's the number?
Yeah, there's a bunch. I think I'm on company number five. But yeah, it's been a journey for sure. Really excited about what I'm focusing on today, which is it's Undigital. We're the inventors of a completely new marketing channel. We call it in-package personalization. So we'll kind of get into that, but true one-to-one marketing in every outgoing package for e-commerce brands. I really launched this for my own companies, my e-commerce companies that I've started. I wanted this, right? We know marketing is what marketing best practices is. It's the right message to every customer, and the package is such an important channel and touch point. And it was just something that wasn't possible. And I said, hey, we're going to figure this thing out. So now we brought this out to so many brands, and we'll kind of get into that. But really excited about what we're doing here.
Great. So we'll cover that during the episode, but it's one thing to launch your companies, and it's a completely other thing just to be successful in all these companies, right? So, what's your secret sauce first? Why you're so passionate about launching new companies, specifically as a
Yeah.
bootstrap? So, I would love to learn more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the truth of it is everyone's searching for sort of the secret sauce, and there's not necessarily a magic button. It's all the things we already know, right? It's optimism, sometimes some naivete, like, hey, I can figure this thing out. It doesn't have to be something that you invent. It can be going to an industry that's already out there and figuring out how to do it great, how to find an audience, who is your ICP, figuring out how to get your message out to them. And I think one of the keys though in everything is, well, you need grit, you need determination, right? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a slog. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, for sure. But you got to have that guiding light internally, and you got to be able to get your team to be excited and passionate. Say, hey, we're headed there. Like we're going to get there. We are going to figure this thing out. And a lot of being successful is figuring it out. I love that. I love puzzles that aren't completely solved yet. I love being a part of a small team that can hopefully innovate and create something special that people want. And But there's a lot of facets to building a business, and but you're in it for the long haul, and it's definitely a fight, an uphill battle. I always say it's like putting on a 500-pound weight and walking through quicksand. It's not for everybody. It's just something that I find really exhilarating, and getting to the other side of that and starting to see the light shine through is certainly really exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and I've been doing this for more than 10 years, right? Already with Vimy, and definitely I understand that you enjoy the experience. It's really exciting. It just challenges you in so many levels. And in terms of the character, tell us, what's your character? Why you think you are fit for this kind of task?
Yeah, that's a great question. A little bit about me, I'd say this. Like growing up, I was a really poor student, mostly because I just really wasn't interested in maybe like traditional schooling. I was really into sports, athletics. And when I did athletics, I mean, I gave everything 100%. I ended up being captain in most of my sports teams, pretty much all the sports teams I did in high school. And so what I realized was when I actually was passionate about something, like I only had one mode. Like I want to figure out how to not just be good, but to be great, right? It's the same thing in business. What do they say? I guess good is the enemy of great, right? Like at the end of the day, like our job is to figure out, like, let's not just spend all our time, 40, 50, 60 hours a week to do something average or good. Like, how do we, if we're going to pick an industry, pick something we want to do, let's figure out how to be the best. What does the best look like? Like, let's research, let's find who's out there doing it the best. Let's take our cues, but let's figure out how to even be better. And I think you have to have that internally to say, like, we're going to do something great. Like, if I'm going to put my time into this as a career, like, let's make this something that we're excited about. And I think that's something that I've tried to do is figure out how to be a little bit better. And I think when we think about e-commerce, and I've started a lot of e-commerce companies, started my first one really in 1999, so super early days. Like the search engines were Hotbot and Lycos. There was no Google, there was no Facebook, so tools were very limited. But very early on, one thing I realized is, as all of us in ecom have customers that are patronizing us, not all customers think about you as the same way, right? Like you're going to have some customers that are disgruntled. You're going to have a lot of customers that like you, and you're going to have some customers that love you. And I think the real key is, how do we get more customers to love us? Customers that love us are so valuable. If you think about the lifetime value, how many orders they place, how they advocate for you, how they tell other people, how they bring more people into your brand. There is something really special about that idea. So not just, being excited about building a business and your own internal clock. It's, having a vision to say, hey, how do we get our customers to be passionate about us? That's really the secret sauce, because all of us in e-com are competing against so many other brands. You might have 5, 10, 30 competitors, depending on the products that you're selling. And at the end of the day, having customers like you is not good enough, right? Your acquisition costs become much more manageable when you have a much higher lifetime value, when you're getting customers that are coming in not just for the first order, but they're like, wow, this is a brand, that I really connect with. And I think so much of the opportunity that we all have today is really focusing on this idea of customer love. And we can get into more of that for sure.
Yeah. It seems that we are in an era where every brand needs to bootstrap, right? It's gone are the days where you could have raised with higher valuations, right? I mean, there's a lot of focus on operational excellence, profitability, more difficult to grow, and customer acquisition is becoming a challenge. So all these, I think, leaders that are more focused on, the real, nitty-gritty operational stuff from one side, and also the marketing innovations on the other side. And I guess this is what's the most important thing right now for brands, and trying to figure out those creative ways to grow, maybe organically and with much less cost. So you
Well,
mentioned the fact that brands need to fall in love. You have some type of customers that are really really connected emotionally to the brand. And because you mentioned that, I'd love to know, how do you do that? What's the process to
yeah.
achieve
Yeah.
this type of
So
feedback and sentiment
yeah,
from
and so
customers?
it's so important, right? And honestly, one of the most tangible things you can do today as an e-commerce marketer is, you can look at your current customers, you can survey them, and you can look at the customers that like you and figure out what you need to do to get those customers to love. Again, we spend a lot of money as e-commerce brands on acquisition, right? Obviously, there's some money spent on retention. You should be putting money in just this concept, meeting it with your team and say, how do we focus on the things that are going to make customers love us, right? Customer love is the combination of great
Mm-hmm.
products and great experience. It's those two things together. Think about the thousands of meals you've eaten in your lifetime, the thousands of dinners, and you remember a few of those, right? And it's probably had those two combinations of maybe a great meal plus something interesting or a great experience or something memorable, a story, right? So the combination of great products and great
Yeah.
experience is customer love. And so what we do at Undigital, of course, is on the experiential side. We help to make the unboxing experience relevant, emotional, storytelling, informational, helpful to drive success, make people aware of other products, to truly take the data we know about that customer and deliver something, that's special in that moment. But every touch point matters, right? And I think we as marketers need to be very purposeful and thinking through every interaction our customers have, not just focus on, of course, we want to have our funnel to be a great funnel where we can pull people through and low friction, and we want to acquire people, but everything gets better as we actually achieve customer love. All those costs, all those input costs of marketing and acquisition become so much easier. Your market share grows, customers stick with
Mm-hmm.
you as opposed to your competitors, and they build brand advocacy and tell their friends. And so I think at the end of the day, not enough brands are really thinking through this as a strategy, a daily strategy, and a daily sort of guidepost of like, that's what we want to achieve. Great products, of course, are really important, and great experience. And I think those should really be one of the most important things all brands should be talking about in all of their marketing meetings.
So how do you foster this culture of innovation, customer centricity? How do you do that?
Well, I think it just starts with having that passion and conversation, for understanding. Hey, this is critical to the business. This is what we want to be, and gosh, isn't it fun to be a brand where customers love you? It's not always that way, right? And maybe it's not always that way in the beginning.
Mm.
But if we think about any brand who's achieving that, or the brands that we look at, and we see these brands that are exciting, and we feel that they're super successful. They don't always start that way, right? And typically, it is a combination of them putting out great products and having this great overall vibe. Look at what Steve Jobs certainly did, even with Apple products, this amazing box, this expensive product. That was very purposeful. There's sort of like these things have been done probably in other industries, and bringing it out within your specific space is a massive competitive advantage.
Yeah. So tell us about our existing company.
Yeah, for sure. So Undigital was an idea that I just couldn't kick. I just got super excited about it. And the reason that I came up with it is we have about 100,000 square feet, our own e-commerce products. And as I was in the fulfillment space, I would see thousands of brown boxes that would be leaving the facility every single day. And it's just a light bulb moment. It was kind of obvious, but it was like, this is important to our customers. Like, this is a touch point. What does excellence look like? What does customer love look like? How do we make this a little bit better than what all of our other customers are doing? Everyone's just putting things in boxes. Here you go. Here's your product. That's not exciting. So we know marketing best practices is the right message to the right customer at every channel. And what if we could take all the data we had about our customer, and we all have so much data about our customers, and use that data to surface the right message, something that's helpful to get them to maybe use their products to the best of their ability. Maybe it's to cross-sell them on other relevant products. The use cases were sort of unlimited of how do we use, how do we create one-to-one marketing for each customer that's going to get them to take an action, get something helpful, informational, whatever that might be. And so I wanted to build this for my own brands. And so I hired the best engineers I could find. We invested a ton of money to make this happen, literally millions of dollars it cost. We were fortunate with all of our other company's successes that we were able to sort of do this. But we invented in-package personalization, right? It's automated at your facility. We provide these smart printers. And at the time that you're packing an order, we automatically look at that customer and we produce on demand extremely curated collateral. So maybe a couple examples for the listeners. Orders going out. Whose order is this? This is Amanda's order. What do we know about Amanda? She's a first-time customer. She's ordered your moisturizing cream. She's not in the loyalty program. So, we're going to give Amanda a welcome to our brand message. We're going to give her instructions on how to apply the moisturizing cream because her skin's dry. Maybe we'll tell her about some of the other products that will also help hydrate her skin. And oh, by the way, Amanda, you're also not enrolled in our loyalty program. These are all the reasons and benefits why you should activate. Scan here to join. So, there's just so many ways that we can use this technology to drive like the effective right message. And we've backed all that up with an analytics platform, a real-time analytics platform, so we can A/B test different campaigns, different messages. We can do holdout groups, and every day we can look at the conversion rates of all of our campaigns and optimize this channel to play a very meaningful part and drive a significant amount of revenue for your brand.
Interesting. So primarily, and it's a data platform, right? You're connected to all the database of customers through the history of engagement and behaviors of each one of the shoppers, right?
Yeah. So the way it works is the brand will connect their eCom platform to the Undigital software, and like Shopify takes about 5 minutes. You've got your data flowing in; it's all fully encrypted, and then we create campaigns and strategies around what types of messaging we want different types of audiences to see. Right? You've got new and returning customers. You've got customers ordering certain products, certain categories. You've got VIP customers. You've got customers not subscribed to your auto subscribe program or your loyalty program. And there's all these different messages we want all these different groups to see. And so we create all that logic. It all lives in the Undigital platform. Our team is actually fully resourced to actually help you execute everything. So you don't have to add additional resourcing to your team to run the channel. And what's great is marketing now controls in real time everything happening at their fulfillment center that goes in the package. You never actually have to call your fulfillment center. We put our printers in that are fully automated, and it's just like the packer receiving a packing slip that prints, but it's a full color, beautifully printed piece of marketing collateral. It could be a brochure, it could be an individual insert. It could even be, we automate handwritten notes at scale for lots of brands. And what's so cool about them is, a handwritten note could be before us. A lot of times it's like, hey, thank you so much for your order. Now it's so detailed where we have brands literally saying, hey, Sarah, thanks for ordering this product. We hope you love it. Here's how to use the product. Oh, here's the other product. It could be anything. Like, here's a special promotion just for you. It expires in 3 weeks. There's really no limit to the message and the content that you say. The beauty of it is that it's really like a Facebook ads for packages, whereas all of our brands are going to conversion rate optimize, and it just gets better and better over time and becomes a very significant contributor to your overall revenue.
Yeah. So the actual users of the platform are like the warehouse operators. I mean, they go there and they just, select like in the case of Amanda, they will click on your platform and they will get like recommendation for what to print, right? Whether it's a
Well, it's
product
actually,
upsell,
yeah,
recommendation, thank you letter. Yeah.
it's actually more automated than that. So we work, the brands work, Undigital and our team worked with the brands. We set up all of the logic, all the campaigns in the platform, right? The brands can log in, look at all their different campaigns. All the
Mm-hmm.
campaigns get prioritized. So there might be 20, 30, could be 50 campaigns. In the warehouse, that's fully automated. They don't do anything. In fact, there's no buttons to click. As they're fulfilling an order, it just prints out the right collateral. It's fully automated. The packers that pack in most of these facilities, a lot of them are temporary workers during the holiday. They don't know
Yep.
anything. They're not supposed to know anything. So everything's
Mm-hmm.
really controlled by the marketing team and Undigital. And that's kind of the beauty. When we launch a new campaign, it's live. And so the next package leaving a warehouse could match with that particular campaign. And so again, marketing a lot of times is not even in the same building as where things get fulfilled. And we have brands
Sure.
that fulfill for themselves. We have dozens of 3PL fulfillment partners. But marketing now gets to control, this very important channel from a marketing perspective to do it in the right way. Before Undigital, I say brands were either putting nothing in a box or maybe everyone gets the same pre-printed piece, right? Which is really
Mm-hmm.
not relevant. A lot of times they just, they expire. Maybe the 3PL forgets to put it in there. Now we're true one-to-one messaging. That's something that's really valuable to that customer. We outperform sort of that pre-printed piece 10-1, 10x. It's not even close, right? And that's really, we know that about all channels, right? No one does batch and blast really marketing anymore across any channel. And the package now for the first time has that true one-to-one capability.
So the marketing teams, from your experience, what are like they are providing any feedback? They're involved in the scripting, or they have
Yeah.
a way to provide some guidance to the system on what to recommend and
Oh,
types of
fully,
product.
yeah. So we work
Yeah.
closely with the marketing team. We start by saying, what are your goals? And the funny part is just kind of like when we launched the initial idea, a lot of brands come and say, hey, I really just want to, make my customers, I want to make the unboxing experience better. But what really everybody wants is revenue, right? That's really the key. And we're performance
Mhm.
marketers. So our goal is, let's get revenue. Let's drive more customers to order again. If we can look at your first time customers, we start there and we say, hey, let's run campaigns to really focus on our new customers, the welcoming message. Let's run multiple variations. And what happens when we do that is, we're going to find our best performers. And if we get more of your customers to order 2, we're going to get more of them to order 3, 4, 5, where they wouldn't have ordered that second time at all. And so as we think about our ability to drive lifetime value, it's massive, right? The ability for us to really increase the overall long-term revenue from your customers, build awareness of other products that are relevant, other categories, get more people enrolled in their loyalty program is such an easy way to do it via Undigital. We'll take the customers not enrolled and tell them why they should join. We can even tell people in your loyalty program, hey, you've earned 472 points. You're, $20 away from getting to our platinum status. Again, it's taking all that specific customer information, providing it to them, and the marketing team and Undigital together sort of work across the strategies, executing it all within the platform. And of course, it's fully automated, right, for fulfillment.
Yeah. So you mentioned some of the KPIs, how the brands can attribute, various activities and engagements to this type of activities, specifically to
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have 100% attribution. The reason we do is because we have the order feed. We know exactly every customer and what piece they received, and so we know when they come back to order again. And so what we like to do is we like to run a holdout group and say, hey, let's look at a certain audience of customers getting in-package personalization, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
hold out a certain portion where they're not getting it at all, and that'll tell us what is our actual incremental lift in reorder rates and revenue. And so it's very easy to showcase ROI for the team. We also will A/B test, so we're optimizing campaigns against each other. But we're actually looking. We don't need promo codes. We're not measuring. We can use those. We can use QR codes, but that's not the way we attribute. We're actually looking at the customer itself. We're looking at their actions, and we're able to actually showcase, what is the actual lift from using in-package personalization. Our average brands are getting between a 7 and 10% increase in reorder rates. So extremely valuable. We have brands with double-digit increases in global revenue just from using very effective in-package marketing.
Wow. Wow. So this was my next question. So thank you for sharing this data. What other improvements, not just in terms of next order or order value, like uh, other things, right? Like being a brand advocacy. I mean, recommending products or probably introducing new customers. Or what other KPIs are
Yeah.
relevant, do you think, for this use case?
Yeah, outside of revenue, there's so many.
Yeah.
We have a brand in the pet food space, and they have it's very personalized pet food. It's a unique program for you, and they used us because they were getting so many people calling customer service because they weren't really clear on how to sort of use the product, how to feed their pet, how often, and we essentially personalized. It's very personalized. It's actually got your dog. It has a picture of your dog. It's got your serving
Hmm.
ingredients, your serving instructions. They reduced their customer service calls after launching with us by 20%, just less calls, right? Because, people had questions. We can actually take your entire catalog of products. We have one brand, they're called Amica. They're a big hair care company. They took 500 products. They mapped them all in the digital platform. We actually mapped it for them. It was very easy. And no matter what product you order, you actually get a handwritten note that gives you instructions on how to use your product, how to apply the product, right?
Yeah.
It was really neat because we actually tested a handwritten version and a graphical marketing version. And the
Hmm.
handwritten version way outperformed. I think it's such an authentic type of a marketing form for people to receive something that actually you really can't tell that it's printed like we print it actually obviously in the film center, but it resembles a truly handwritten note, but it's very detailed to your product, to you, your name, and it's just had a massive increase in reorder rates, right, from something like that. So there's so many things you can do. Revenue is obviously one part of it, but telling your brand story, asking people to refer their friends, getting people into their loyalty program is a big focus for us. And it's so easy. As soon as brands launch with us, if they want to make a push on loyalty, just messaging the people that are only not enrolled is amazing. Because in the past, it was really hard to sort of segment those out. So we can segment any audience. We also have brands that have messages that they'll get posted in from their customer service agent. So for instance, let's say you had an interaction with customer service because there was an issue, the customer service agent can actually type in a message.
Hmm.
We then get that message, we'll serve it. It could be a handwritten note from the customer service agent saying, "Hey, Sarah, I'm so sorry for the issue. I was able to overnight this order. Thank you so much for being a great customer." You can, if you have an auto subscribe program, and somebody ordered, but they canceled after they placed their order, they're saying, "Hey, I'm no longer going to be in the auto subscribe." We know that's like their last package. We can do a win back campaign, for that particular customer saying, "Hey, don't go." Maybe we give them a special offer. We can even do, promotions just for each customer. So your most promotional customers, maybe giving them the biggest promotion, and your least promotional customers, maybe giving them a little something. Like, we can be very specific. So
Hmm.
there's so many things you can do once the technology's in. There's kind of no limit to the creativity and how you can use the technology.
Got it. Got it. So in package personalization, you actually invented a new category, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So what about, I'm interested in the initial marketing efforts that you did. What worked? I mean, you had to educate the market, or you put more effort on
Yeah.
acquiring customers. What was the marketing? What worked for you in terms of marketing
Yeah. Well,
channels?
well, the early days when we were just starting, we really just wanted feedback, because as excited as we were, and we were doing this for our brand, I think that was really helpful because we actually already had data as far as how well things were going. And
Yeah.
so we actually reached out to a lot of marketers and was just like, "Hey, can we show you what we're doing? And just, maybe you can help give us feedback." But what's amazing is when marketers, whether they're CMOs, directors of marketing, whatever their title is, marketing managers, they were just like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is incredible." Like, we got great feedback, of course, along the way, and that really helped inform our roadmap. But like, people just don't know this exists. So when you're a category creator, a lot of what you're doing is education. It's, taking information and it's for the first time showing them. They don't necessarily have this budget in, like, "Hey, we're going to add in package personalization," because they don't know it exists. But more and more, we're the ones turning that flywheel, right? And getting more and more companies involved. And as more companies come involved, they tell their friends. We have lots of big 3PLs that are bringing this out to all of their customers. And so you're going to hear more and more about this. And I
Hmm.
think the success and the case studies that we've put out on our website with so many brands speak for themselves. So yeah, it's definitely, the early days is harder. And as time goes on, more and more brands, more referrals. We have so many great meetings every day with brands that say, "Hey, I know we can do better. Like, either we're not doing anything, or we're doing something, but it's really not personalized." And so it's just I think what the most exciting part for me is, as somebody who's a lifelong marketer, and you probably know this, when you're as you get more mature, you're just focusing on like very small optimizations. Like you've kind of got Google PPC and you've got Facebook. Like you spend a lot of time, and so you're trying to get like maybe smaller gains. This is all blue ocean. Like most
Mhm.
companies don't have this. And so putting this in is just a huge revenue opportunity because you're going to go from 0 to 100. So it's really something I think all brands really need to think about. We serve every industry and, can immediately have a very significant impact,
Mhm.
on the brand's bottom line.
So, what are the challenges? What are the objections that you hear from customers?
Yeah.
Where are the difficulties right now for you?
By far, the biggest one we always hear is, the marketing team comes in, they love it. And then there's sort of an operations team. And we have to put our printers into the operations facility. And we fully automated that. But there's always going to be a little bit of anxiety because the operations team doesn't like to introduce anything in a lot of
Mhm.
cases. It's like, hey, why do we have to do something? Well, it's a huge business opportunity. Once they realize how automated it is and how simple it is, it's very much, again, like, a lot of places already print packing slips. That comes out of a printer. It's just like our printer, but our printer's color. It's kind of the same process. So we have to really hold their hand. A lot of times we'll have them talk to other customers of ours, other operators. We have videos we show them. So that's probably the biggest process, is just getting the operations folks, because, again, they don't like change. They're very adverse to change.
Mhm.
But once they realize, that, hey, oh, this is no big deal, that kind of goes away. But that's probably always the biggest one is, we have multiple, parts of the team, multiple different teams even that have to come and sort of check the box. It starts with marketing typically, and then operations comes in. And after they see it, they certainly get excited about it. But that's probably one of the areas that we spend the most time on.
Yeah. And what is the business model for the engagement for you guys?
Yeah. We keep it really simple. So essentially, we roll almost everything into a per unit cost. So based on what type of print system you need, we learn a little bit about the way that you fulfill your orders. We know exactly what system goes in. You might just be packing orders out at a table. We have a very simple process there. We even have fully automated conveyor solutions. So we have something for everybody. Once we know what the system is, we'll come up with a per unit price depending on what
Mhm.
form factor you choose. Maybe you have a really beautiful brochure. Maybe it's individual insert. And once we choose that, each one has a certain price point, and that's it. You know what your price is. It makes it very easy when we do our monthly analytic reviews to look at, okay, here's your lift. This is how much we've gained for every package we ship. This is your cost per package. Here's your ROI. So we've tried to keep it as simple as possible, and that's sort of the model we've had since day one, and that's still our model today.
Yeah. And in terms of your bootstrapping, uh, let's say journey or day-to-day management, how do you balance between innovation cost or maybe R&D development towards sales and marketing? How do you make those type of decision where to invest?
Yeah, I mean, the goal for us and every company I've started is it's continuous improvement. Like I get excited, like, how do we do better? We can do better. You're never at your best. Whether you're a marketer, you never have your best convert. You're never done, right? You're never done trying to drive conversion rate. I think it's the same in the business. Obviously, you're making day-to-day decisions, what you're doing and how you're spending your money. But for us, it's really like innovation is a really important part of what we're doing. As the inventors of this, we listen to our customers, we build our roadmaps. We're continuing to invest heavily into our technology. We want our quality always to be better. We want our prices to always be cheaper. We always want everything we do to be faster. And we are constantly, I'm involved in that all the time. I get excited around those opportunities to really continue to make the business better. Technology is
Hmm.
continuing to evolve, and we're going to stay cutting edge. So I think a lot of focus goes into that. It has to, being a technology company, because technology moves very quickly. So that's just part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. I think it's extremely important if you're a technologist to continue to make those improvements. And there's just so many opportunities ahead in that. So many ways that we can continue to make the service better and better. That's what gets me excited. We have an
Hmm.
incredible offering, but we're not done. We're never going to stop. And so we're still early days. So lots to do.
Sure, sure. So Ryan, what are some of the tips you can provide for brands or businesses out there?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I think the most important thing is really think about this idea of customer love, right? And, as you think about all your competitors, I don't think there's anything more important that we can do as e-commerce. I still own several e-commerce brands. And, at the end of the day, I think it's probably, if there is a secret sauce, it's that. It's thinking about budgeting for customer love, right? It's not just an
Hmm.
idea. It's something that has to be purposeful. It's looking at every single engagement, interaction, touch point, your products and your experience combined, and creating something that's not just good, that customers like. How do we get them to love us? You can survey your customers today. Try and figure out and get out of your customers, the customers that like you, look at that audience and ask them, what can we do to make you love us? What would make them more excited?
Hmm.
Some of these ideas to you as a marketer might be a little obvious, and there's things that you can start to brainstorm with your team. You might get some great ideas from your customers. That is the most valuable thing you can do. If you just thought about the lifetime value of a customer that likes you and one that loves you, there's no contest. Those customers that are at the top of your list, your top 10%, they are driving a significant amount of your gross profit. We need more of those. Every day we're bringing in new customers. Let's get more of them into the love bucket. I think, put money into the customer love, even if you have to move it from other areas. Find the bottom 10% or 20% of underperforming marketing stuff, move it into a customer love budget. I think it's just one of the biggest long-term things you can do to drive market share.
Nice, nice. And Ryan, what is your sales cycle time today?
Sales cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from the time a customer signs to launch is between about 30 and 60 days. But, with signing up a customer from the time that they initially hear about us, gosh, it can
Mhm.
be all over the map. We have some customers like, we need this tomorrow. And then we have some customers like, hey, this is great. Budgeting's coming up in 6 months. Like, we're going to bring this in for next year. So it can be up to a year as far as getting a customers enrolled. Fortunately, we have so many 3PL partners that are fulfilling for e-commerce brands. We have
Mhm.
dozens of them.
Yeah.
And so they already have thousands of brands that they fulfill for. We are their partner to provide the service. And that makes it very easy. Like, there's no integration. We also have lots of plugins that make it really easy to set up with us. So actually the technology setup is fairly lightweight. And so we're ready when brands are ready. But it's definitely just dependent on, existing roadmaps
Yeah.
and when they're ready for the service.
And that's one of the secrets for Bootstrap growth, right? Is partnering with channel partners, right? That's very, very important. That's going directly to brands, but also partnering with
Well, so many of
3PLs.
our fulfillment partners realize what a value add we are,
Yeah.
because we drive so many more orders for the e-commerce brands. The fulfillment companies get more orders too, and so they just push us now,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Hey, you got to learn about this great technology," and it builds a stickier relationship for them. So that's been a great source for us, and certainly a low cost
Yeah,
source, right, to drive leads is something we're all looking for. It's been
sure,
fantastic.
sure. And what do you do on the marketing front? Which channel you're active and what's working for you?
We use all the social channels. We do LinkedIn. Sitting here today doing a podcast. Again, getting the message out, educating. So we'll do a little of everything. Of course, we have a blog and partnerships. Those have been great. We've done trade shows as well, getting out in front of customers. Again, it's amazing. Somebody stops by the booth, they're like, "Hey, what do you guys do?" And they're like, "Oh my God, really? Wow!"
Hmm.
I mean, again, this is totally blue ocean. So anywhere that we can get in front of somebody, tell them about this. We just have amazing conversations when people realize, all the things that they can do to deliver, very relevant messaging in the package. So we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, having the right balance of organic, right, versus paid, right? And
Absolutely.
great, Ryan. So how people can find you and the company?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You can go to Undigital. You can request a demo. We can send you out samples. I'm on LinkedIn. My name's Ryan Millman. You can find me. My email is ryan@undigital.com. Even if you're not ready for this, it's something you really should learn about, know about. We can even help look at what you're doing today and give you a guide for you specific to your brand on, hey, these are recommendations. So it's something that you can socialize with your team, whether you use us, you try and do some things on your own. Like, we can help give you the expertise. Our team has a lot of expertise. We're definitely the leading experts in this space. I'm happy to consult with you and just kind of see what you're doing and showcase some of the opportunities that you can have with in-package personalization.
Sounds great, Ryan. Anything else you want to add?
No, it's been a blast. I love chatting about it. I'm so passionate about what we're doing and pushing the boundaries of marketing. It's been so fun. And yeah, thanks for bringing me on today.
Great. Thank you so much. It was really interesting. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye bye.